Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome. Today is Caitanya Caritamrta reading. So yesterday we discussed till so we are now discussing reading Antya Lila chapter 16. We discussed yesterday till text number 49. So the pastime Kaviraj Goswami is describing about the pastime of Kalidas, who is uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami. So we just read how Kalidas used to eat remnants left by Vaishnavas and how Mahaprabhu bestowed his mercy upon Kalidas because of his firm faith in Vaishnavas. So we'll read today from text number 50. So on the southern side, behind and above the 22 steps is a deity of Lord Narasimha. It is on the left side as one goes up steps toward the temple. Southern side means southern side of the Jagannath temple. There is a deity of Lord Narasimha Dev. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his left side toward the deity, offered obeisances to Lord Narasimha as he proceeded toward the temple. He recited the following verses again and again while offering obeisances. So as we also offer our obeisances by doing dandavat to left side to the deities. So Mahaprabhu used to also do the same. Mahaprabhu only taught Sanatan Goswami all the Vaishnava etiquettes, and Sanatan Goswami wrote many scriptures about Vaishnava etiquettes. So we are following the same etiquette here as Mahaprabhu gave to Sanatan Goswami. So Mahaprabhu used to also do dandavat. So this is a proper way to offer obeisances to the deities. Always keeping deities at the left side when you do dandavat. Mahaprabhu sings Namaste Narasimhaya Praladalada Dahine Hiranya Kashi Purvakshaha Shilatanka Nakhalaye. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, Lord Narasimha Dev. You are the giver of pleasure to Prahlad, Maharaj Prahlad, and your nails cut the chest of Hiranyakashipu like a chisel cutting stone. So and the following verse are quoted from the Narasimha Puran. So Mahaprabhu used to sing this every day. And when he was going to temple, when he was in front of Lord Narasimha Dev, he used to sing this prayer every day. So we also, by Srila Prabhupada, we are very fortunate that we are also singing these prayers 3-4 times every day in our ISKCON temples. So this verse is quoted from Narasimha Puran. So this prayer is already there in Narasimha Puran. So Mahaprabhu used to sing this again and again. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha Yato Yami Tato Narasimha Bahir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Lord Narasimha Dev is here and he is also there. On the opposite side, wherever I go, there I see Lord Narasimha Dev. He is outside and within my heart. Therefore I take shelter of Lord Narasimha Dev, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should always know the meanings of what prayer we are always thinking, that we sing many prayers, bhajan throughout the day. So we should know what meaning that prayer, the meaning about that prayers or bhajan. Because when we know meaning and when we chant by knowing the meaning, then we'll have, we'll feel different taste while chanting that prayer or bhajan. So we should always first know the meaning before singing some bhajan or reciting some prayer. It will help us. So now, having offered obeisances to Lord Narasimha Dev, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited temple of Lord Jagannath. Then he returned to his residence, finished his noon duties and took his lunch. So after this Narasimham Adim Saranam Prapade Tabakara Kamale Bharam Nakham, that part is from Jayadev Goswami, Dasavatar Stotram, from his prayer of Jayadev Goswami. So Jayadev Goswami has written he has glorified all the Das avatars of Lord Narayan. So Keshabadhrita Buddha Sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare, Keshabadhrita Meena Sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare. So he have described all the 10 glorified 10 avatars. So it's a very nice prayer of by Jayadev Goswami. It's the part of Git Govinda. I think it's Das Avatar Ashtakam. No, Das Avatar Stottam. Yeah, maybe something like that. I forgot the name, but it's very nice prayer. So, having offered, so Mahaprabhu then he returned to his residence, finished his noon duties and took his lunch. So Mahaprabhu, being a sannyasi, he was always setting an examples to his followers. So he was always finishing his noon duties. We have learned already, in previous verses, chapters. Kaviraj Goswami always mentioned Mahaprabhu returned to his residence, he finished his noon duties and took his lunch. So Mahaprabhu is showing the consistency. So Mahaprabhu is teaching us that we should be always, sharp. We should always finish our duties, what our spiritual master has given us. So our main duty is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As today we were reading in Sri Namamrita that most important order of spiritual master is to chant 16 rounds of Mahamantra daily. So 16 rounds of Mahamantra chanting, we should do that daily. That's our duty, most important duty. Without chanting of Hare Krishna, I think I forgot, but Acharya says that even those who have already reached to the stage of Prema Bhakti, even if the devotee is the Paramhamsa, in the Paramhamsa stage, if he stops chanting, then he will be dry, just like a branch, branch which is not connected to the tree. That branch, it just gets dried out. So that Paramhamsa or that devotee will also get dried out if he stops chanting. Our Acharya says that. So chanting is very important. We also discussed yesterday that those who have done in previous life, their last 100 lifetimes, those who have performed Vishnu Bhakti, only they can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Other don't have that facility to chant Hare Krishna. Even if you say to them, please chant, they won't chant because they don't have that, pious activities on their account. So we should be very fortunate that if we are chanting 16 rounds or maybe 2-3 rounds, 4, 5, 6 rounds, if we are chanting, then we should feel ourselves very fortunate. We are one in a million, as Bahunam Janmanam Ante, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So we should thank Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he has given us so nice facility to go home back to Godhead. Kalidas was standing outside the door expecting remnants of food from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Knowing this, Mahaprabhu gave an indication to Govinda. So Kalidas was standing outside the door, but Mahaprabhu was eating inside. How did Mahaprabhu knew? Because Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Krishna himself. So he is omniscient. He knows everything. He is in everyone's heart, sitting as a Paramatma. He is witnessing everything. So Mahaprabhu knows everything, what we are thinking, what we will do in future, what we will be even in next life. Krishna already knows. So Krishna is Paramatma. He knows past, future and present, everything. So Mahaprabhu being omniscient, he knew that Kalidas was standing outside the door. Govinda understood all the indications of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he immediately delivered the remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's food to Kalidas. So it says that Govinda understood all the indications of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu just gave an indication, just like, maybe he may have, it didn't say that Mahaprabhu ordered Govinda, it just said that Mahaprabhu gave an indication. So the perfect, servant will know everything what his masters want. So just by indication of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Govinda knew what Mahaprabhu wanted. So that's the perfect servant. So Govinda was setting that example. Just by Mahaprabhu's indication, Govinda knew that what Mahaprabhu wanted. Just like our Srila Prabhupada, when he was in his last stage, he wasn't, it was very hard for Prabhupada to even speak, and he was just lying in the bed, and the fan was just moving in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada wanted that someone to turn off that fan, but he wasn't being able to speak, and he was just raising his arm, finger. So all his disciples, those who were present there, they were just discussing among themselves, what is Prabhupada trying to say, what is Prabhupada trying to say. But Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he understood that Prabhupada wanted that fan to be turned off. So immediately Tamal Krishna Maharaj turned off the fan, and Prabhupada just, he nodded his head. So a perfect disciple understands what his master wants just by indication. So Govinda was the perfect, we can say perfect servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have already listened to, we have already read many pastimes before of Govinda, how he is perfect, how exalted Vaishnava Govinda is. So, and now Govinda is taking the remnants of food of Vaishnavas is so valuable that it induced Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to offer Kalidas his supreme mercy. So taking the remnants of food left by Vaishnava is so valuable that what Kalidas did was so important, so valuable. Mahaprabhu became so happy that it induced Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was obliged to offer Kalidas his supreme mercy. Not only mercy, supreme mercy. Supreme means topmost. We say supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is the supreme personality. No one is greater than Krishna, no one is equal to Krishna. Krishna is supreme. So Mahaprabhu is offering Kalidas his supreme mercy. Why? Because Kalidas was eating the remnants left by Vaishnavas. He was keeping the dust of lotus feet of Vaishnav in his head. He was not discriminating. This is a new Vaishnav, this is an old Vaishnav. He chants this much in a day, he doesn't chant, Those he saw rendering service, chanting, he just took remnants of their food left by them. He took their dust from the lotus feet. He took water which washed the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. So these three things, Kalidas had firm faith. So Mahaprabhu was obliged, he was induced, it induced Mahaprabhu to give Kalidas supreme mercy. Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, Antya Lila, it's the Antya Lila now, it's clearly saying that how we can get supreme mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta is nectar, it's all of story, but we should also take the lessons from the story, what the pastimes is saying us to do. So if we want supreme mercy of supreme personality of Godhead, then we should just follow the footsteps of Kalidas. We should try to eat remnants of food left by Vaishnavas. We should take the dust of the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. And we should always try to drink the water which has washed the feet of Vaishnavas. So the Vaishnavas' body are not material, it's a spiritual body. So if you want the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, these are three things. So if you want to advance in Krishna consciousness, it's very easy process. Just eat remnants of Vaishnavas, food left by Vaishnavas, take their dust of their lotus feet, and if you are fortunate enough, you can take even the water that has washed the feet of a Vaishnava. So Kaviraj Goswami says, therefore giving up hatred and hesitation, try to eat the remnants of the food of Vaishnavas, for you will thus be able to achieve your desired goal of life. So giving up hatred and hesitation, try to eat. He says that. Giving up hatred and hesitation, do not hesitate. Even if the remnants of Vaishnavas, food of the Vaishnavas is being thrown in dustbin, just like Kalidas ate from the ditch, he was picking up from the ditch, from the garbage, and he was eating, licking up that plate. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, do not hesitate, giving up hatred. Do not discriminate between anyone. Just try to eat remnants food of Vaishnavas. Thus you will be able to achieve desired goal of life. So he is saying, the Caitanya Caritamrta, he is saying to all the Vaishnavas, for you will be able to achieve your desired goal of life. So every Vaishnava's goal of life is to achieve Krishna, to go home back to Godhead, to go home, to get out from this material world which is full of miseries. So if we want to achieve our desired goal, here we have three things. If we follow this without any hesitation, then we will surely get our desired goal of life. So our goal of life is to get out from this material world which is full of miseries, which is which consists of birth, old age, disease and death. So to get out from these four things, Prabhupada says, is to make life successful. The remnants of food offered to Krishna are called Mahaprasad. After this same Mahaprasad has been taken by a devotee, the remnants are elevated to Mahaprasad. So the bhoga which is offered to Krishna, it becomes Mahaprasad. And that same Mahaprasad, when eaten by a Vaishnavas, it becomes Mahaprasad. So we can just see how important eating the remnants left by Vaishnava is. Just like Narad Muni, in his previous lifetime, he was son of a maid servant, and one day some sadhus came to Narad Muni's home, and his mother served the sadhus prasad, and after sadhu ate prasad, Narad Muni asked permission to the sadhus so that he may take the remnants of their food. So sadhus gave permission to Narad Muni. And Narad Muni says to Vyasdev, by eating that food only, I am now Narad. I attained this spiritual body. So that is how important the food remnants left by Vaishnava is. So the dust of a lotus feet the dust of the feet of a devotee, the water that has washed the feet of a devotee, the remnants of food left by a devotee are three very powerful substances. Bhakta pada dhuli ara bhakta pada jala bhakta bhukta avashesha tina mahabala. So this is three Mahabal. It's a very famous sloka of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. The dust of feet of a devotee, the water that has washed the feet of a devotee, and the remnants of food left by a devotee. By rendering service to these three, one attains the supreme goal of ecstatic love for Krishna. In all revealed scriptures, this is loudly declared again and again. So, Sri Caitanya Caritamrta is all about developing our pure love to Krishna. So, Sri Kaviraj Goswami has given these pastimes in Antya Lila. So, Antya Lila is all about pure love, how Mahaprabhu was manifesting his love, but in middle, this pastime is there. So, Kaviraj Goswami is like, he is giving us the method how we can develop that same love. So he has given us very easy method. By this pastime we can see by taking dust of a feet of a devotee, the water that has washed his feet, and the remnants of food left by a devotee. If we have faith in these three things, then no one can stop us to get the love of Godhead. Mahaprabhu will give himself. Mahaprabhu will be so happy. As he was happy with Kalidas, he bestowed his supreme mercy to Kalidas. So, Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Antya Lila, it not only speaks about Mahaprabhu's manifestation of his love for Krishna, but also it teaches us how we can develop that same love. We obviously we cannot manifest that same love what Mahaprabhu manifested, but even if we get Mahaprabhu's love for Krishna is like an ocean. Even if we get that drop from that ocean, even the 100 part from a drop, even if we get that small drop, then our life will be successful. If we follow these three things as Kalidas did, if we follow his footsteps, then Mahaprabhu will surely give. Because Mahaprabhu is Namo Mahabadanyaya, most munificent avatar. He will give like easily. As he gave when he manifested his pastimes, he gave Krishna prem to everyone, even to dogs. He gave even to animals. So if we follow these three things, Mahaprabhu will be very happy. So we have very shortcut process to advance in Krishna consciousness. We have so many devotees around here. There are many tricks from which we can take mercy. So we should pray for Mahaprabhu to give us such intelligence to get that mercy. And Mahaprabhu will give us intelligence so that we can do right thing at the right time to get that right specific mercy. So we can try that, praying to Mahaprabhu. He will surely fulfill our desires if we sincerely pray to him. Therefore, my devotees, please hear from me, for I insist again and again. Please keep faith in these three and render service to them without hesitation. So Kaviraj Goswami is saying again and again, repeatedly. For couple of last 10-15 verses, he has just giving he is just glorifying the so we can see Kaviraj Goswami is he's just glorifying again and again, as Hare Nama Iva Kevalam, 3 times. Only holy name. So Kaviraj Goswami is saying, again, please render this, please. He is insisting, he's again and again, please keep faith in these 3 items. If this wasn't important, then Kaviraj Goswami he wouldn't stress in this point so much. He was so worried about that, he was not describing Mahaprabhu's pastime elaborately, because he said it would make the book size more. So, but he is, but in the middle of Antya Lila, middle of Mahaprabhu's Antya pastimes, he is giving this pastime of Kalidas. So, he is giving this so importance to these things. So, we should not take these things lightly. If we want to advance in Krishna consciousness, then we should take Sri Krishna Kaviraj Goswami's word very seriously. These 3 things will really help us to develop our love for Sri Krishna. From these 3, one achieves the highest goal of life, ecstatic love of Krishna. This is the greatest mercy of Lord Krishna. This evidence is Kalidas himself. So what Kaviraj Goswami has given everything. One achieves the highest goal of life, ecstatic love for Krishna. Krishna Prem. One achieves Krishna Prem just by rendering service to these 3 things. This is the greatest mercy of Lord Krishna. This is the greatest mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the evidence is Kalidas himself. So how important is these 3 things? It's so easy to, just if we do not hesitate, if we do not discriminate, and if we just render service to the dust of the feet of a devotee, water that has washed the feet of a devotee, and the remnants of food left by a devotee, it will give us Krishna Prem, and the evidence is Kalidas. So if we want to get Krishna Prem very easily without chanting, without chanting 3 lakhs name a day, without reading Srimad Bhagavatam 16-17 hours, if we want Krishna Prem in shortcut, then Kaviraj Goswami is giving us this method by the evidence of Kalidas pastime. So if we want greatest mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it is here in Caitanya Caritamrta Antya Leela. We can get it easily. But for that, we should not hesitate. We should not discriminate. We should throw off our judgmental mentality. So it's there. Devotees, Mahaprasad, it's there. Just like Kalidas, he ate from that ditch. So from our practical example, there's our dustbin, devotees, they throw their prasad there. So if we want, there is chance. If you want to make Mahaprabhu happy, if you do not hesitate, if you do not discriminate, it is in dustbin, it's not remnants of Vaishnava prasad. It feels like when we hear, it feels a little awkward, but it's the truth. If you want to obtain mercy of Mahaprabhu, then we have the chance. So, yeah, this is the truth only. This is the fact. This is the same what Kalidas did. Kalidas didn't get from direct, he didn't eat from golden plate. He ate from a ditch. He ate from a garbage. So, he ate from a ditch. So, it's the way how it is. It's the way that Caitanya Caritamrta is saying. It's not me who I am saying. It's Caitanya Caritamrta saying so. If you want mercy, if you want Krishna Prem, it's a very easy process. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at Jagannath Puri Nilachal, and he invisibly bestowed great mercy upon Kalidas. That year, Sivananda Sen brought him with his wife and youngest son, Puridas. Also, I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam and I found a nice verse in 3rd canto. It's in 3rd canto, 3.16.9. So, it's the verse when Lord Vishnu Narayan was addressing 4 Kumars. When 4 Kumars went to Vaikuntha, when he cursed Jai Vijay, and Supreme Personality of Godhead says, I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies 3 worlds, along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his feet. If I can take the dust of the feet of Vaishnav on my head, who will refuse to do the same? So Supreme Personality is Krishna, Narayan is just saying how important the dust of the lotus feet of Vaishnav, the dust of Vaishnav is of their lotus feet, dust of their lotus feet, how important it is. Supreme Personality of Godhead, he takes the dust of the feet of his devotees. So who will refuse to do the same? So Supreme Personality of Godhead is saying is how important is the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnava. So we should always try to take opportunity of this. We should, give our best. We should have intense desire, intense greed to have these 3 things. If we have intense desire and intense greed, Krishna will surely fulfill our desire. Krishna is just waiting for us to develop that intense desire, intense greed to achieve Him. The day when we develop that, Krishna will surely fulfill our desires. So that year, Sivananda Sen brought him with his wife and youngest son, Puridas. So Sivananda Sen, youngest son, name was Puridas. Taking his son, Sivananda Sen went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at his residence. He made his son offer respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of Lord. So it is said that Sivananda Sen made his son offer respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Lord. Not that Sivananda's son, he immediately, automatically offered obeisances. He made his son offer obeisances. So it's the duty of parents to make his child Krishna consciousness, to make his child offer obeisances to acharyas, to Krishna, just as Sivananda Sen is showing example. So is Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, if we study Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta deeply, in every sloka, in every verse, in every chapter, it teaches us Vaishnava etiquette. how we can advance in Krishna consciousness. So this is the importance of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. It is not an ordinary scripture. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Guru Maharaj Prabhupada, Caitanya Caritamrita is more important than Bhagavatam, he says. So, because Caitanya Caritamrita has those things which Bhagavatam doesn't have. So, this is very important, Sri Caitanya Caritamrita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the boy again and again to chant the name of Krishna. The boy would not utter the holy name. Although Shivananda's saint tried with much endeavor to get his boy to speak Krishna's holy name, the boy would not utter it. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I have induced the whole world to take to the holy name of Krishna. I have induced even trees and immovable plants to chant the holy name. So, in the past time when Mahaprabhu passed through Jharkhand forest, we have the photo of that pastime there. Even the trees were dancing when Mahaprabhu was chanting. Even the animals were chanting. So that was the power of Mahaprabhu. So he was thinking that he couldn't induce this small boy to chant the holy name of Krishna. But I could not induce this boy to chant the holy name of Krishna. Hearing this, Swarup Damodar Goswami began to speak. My Lord, he said, you have given him initiation into the name of Krishna. But after receiving the mantra, he will not express it in front of everyone. So Mahaprabhu was saying that boy to speak, say name of Krishna. Just like Guru, when he gives initiation, he speaks the holy name of Krishna in the disciples' ears, in a soft voice, which only disciples can hear. So, Swarup Damodar Goswami is saying that you gave initiation to the Puridas. Now he will not express it in front of others. So we can see just how Swarup Damodar Goswami is a pure devotee, how is he perceiving the pastime, how he is perceiving the situation. He is thinking in different way. So Swarup Damodar Goswami is exalted Vaishnava, as we know. So he is thinking in a different way. How he is thinking, it's wonderful. This boy chants the mantra within his mind, but does not say it aloud. That is his attention, as far I can guess. So, Swarup Damodar Goswami was guessing that that boy is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra within his mind. So, he will not say it aloud. So, another day when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to the boy, recite my dear Puridas, the boy composed the following verse, expressed it before everyone. The boy who was not uttering the the name of Krishna, the next day Mahaprabhu said to that boy, recite my dear Puridas. Mahaprabhu was ordering Puridas. And this day, Puridas glorifies Lord Krishna. He says, Lord Sri Krishna is just like a bluish lotus flower for the ears. His ointment for the eyes, a necklace of Indranila gems for the chest, and the universal ornaments for the gopi damsels of Vrindavan. Let that Lord Hari, let that Sri Hari Krishna be glorified. Although the boy was only 7 years old, still had no education, he composed such a nice verse. Everyone was struck with wonder. So just a small 7 years old boy. You can see he's also 7 years old, like that? Oh, 3, oh sorry. He looks, no, we can see just 5. So that Prabhu is 5. So just bigger than Prabhu, 7 years old. You can imagine that Prabhu, reciting this verse, glorifying Krishna. So everyone was amazed when that small boy of 7 years old was reciting this very nice verse. We can also see in pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. So yeah, Mukunda Prabhu we can see, is very small. So we can just imagine Mukunda Prabhu glorifying Krishna in this verse. So everyone was astonished when Puridas was reciting this verse. So just like Dhruva Maharaj, when Lord Narayan just tossed Lord Narayan conch shell into the head of Dhruva Maharaj started reciting verse from Vedas, Just like an exalted scholar, devotee, Dhruva Maharaj starting reciting so many verses. So if Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestows his mercy upon someone, then he will do things that are impossible for others to do. Just like our Srila Prabhupada, in age of 70, he went to America and he spread this Krishna conscious movement. If we just imagine how it's very hard to even open a temple here. Just imagine to open a temple, to run that temple. Prabhupada went in age 70 alone in America without money, and he opened so many temples. Now we can see, because of Prabhupada, we are being able to hear Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. So if there is mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then one can do the things which is, which is impossible for others to do. No one can do what Prabhupada did. So no one can do. Prabhupada did that no one ever did. Even previous acharyas, no one ever did what Prabhupada did. So if we have mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then anything can be possible. So this is the glory of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's causeless mercy, which even the demigods headed by Lord Brahma cannot estimate. So we can see Lord Brahma has four heads. So even with Lord Brahma's 4 heads, he cannot estimate causeless mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's how merciful is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should pray for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy always, because he is very kind to his devotees. If we have sincere, intense desire, then Mahaprabhu will surely fulfill our desires. He will listen to our prayers. So all the devotees remained with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continuously for 4 months. Then the Lord ordered them back to Bengal, and therefore they returned. As long as devotees were in Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu maintained his external consciousness. But after their departure, his chief engagement was again the madness of ecstatic love for Krishna. So we can see how Mahaprabhu loved his devotees so much. Even though Mahaprabhu was burning in separation of Krishna, he was still maintaining his external consciousness, because the devotees were there, because he loved his devotees, because his devotees also loved Mahaprabhu, because the devotee's life and soul was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu didn't want to disappoint his devotees. See, he was just tolerating, he wasn't manifesting his madness of ecstatic love for Krishna. But as soon as they departed, he was now again manifesting that same ecstatic love for Krishna. So this is the real humility. His Holiness Radhanath Swami often says that real humility is to sacrifice our comfort for others. So Mahaprabhu sacrificed his, ecstatic love for Krishna, his madness. He didn't manifest it just for the satisfaction of Vaishnavas. So that's the real humility. For other happiness, we should sacrifice our one's comfort zone. So Mahaprabhu is teaching by his own example. Throughout the entire day and night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly relished Krishna's beauty, fragrance, mellow, as if he were touching Krishna hand to hand. So Mahaprabhu I was hearing one lecture, this Mahaprabhu touching Krishna hand to hand means he was feeling Krishna, he was touching. He was always going into the Krishna's pastime. So that's the highest level of Krishna consciousness, to able to go inside the pastime of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu was day and night relishing that pastimes, touching with Krishna, associating with Krishna. So that's the highest platform of Krishna consciousness. So Mahaprabhu was experiencing this. Of course, no one can experience what Mahaprabhu experienced, but Mahaprabhu was, he was externally sitting in Jagannath Puri, but internally he was associating with Krishna in Vrindavan. So that was how Mahaprabhu was relishing everything. One day when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to visit the temple of Lord Jagannath, the gatekeeper at Simhadwara approached him and offered respectful obeisances. The Lord asked him, "Where is Krishna, my life and soul? Please show me Krishna." Saying this, he caught the doorkeeper's hand. So Mahaprabhu was so mad, he was asking, "Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna?" to the doorkeeper of Jagannath Puri, Simhadwar. So Mahaprabhu as we being the followers of Gaudiya Vaishnava, Mahaprabhu's life and soul was Krishna. So he is also teaching us we should make Radha Krishna our life and soul. Our Acharya also teaches us. Shri Narottam Thakur sings Radha Krishna prana mora jivane marane gati aur nahi mor. So Radha and Krishna are my life and soul. They are my life and soul. They are my refuge. Even at the time of death or any time, they are only my refuge. Narottam Das Thakur sings that. So we should follow our footsteps, our Acharya Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should try to develop. We should make Radha Krishna our more priority, not other things. We should try to make Radha Gopinath our main priority. That's what Sri Caitanya Caritamrta is teaching us. We should not only is the here pastimes, is very nectar pastimes, but we should also learn from these pastimes. What it is trying to say us, what it is trying to say, this message of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. So unless we don't make Radha Gopinath our life and soul, then our life will never be successful. We will never get that perfection of life unless we make Radha Gopinath, Radha Krishna our life and soul. And it is only possible by the mercy of Vaishnavas, mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is what Sri Caitanya Caritamrta teaches us. Only by the mercy of Prabhupada, mercy of Vaishnavas, mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, then only we can achieve the highest goal of human life. So we should always pray for that mercy to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and all the Vaishnavas. And the doorkeeper replied, the son of Maharaj Nanda is here. Please come along with me. I shall show you. So as I also said in previous class, Prabhupada also says, Krishna, he always likes when we call him with, associating him with name of his devotees. So doorkeeper is also saying, Brajendra Nandan. Se kahe inha haya Brajendra Nandan, son of Maharaj Nanda. Mahaprabhu also in Sikshashtakam he says, Ai Nanda Tanuja, Nanda Tanuja. Nanda Tanuja means son of Nanda, Nanda Maharaj. So Krishna likes when we call him Yashoda Nandan, Devaki Nandan, Radhanath, Bhakta Vatsal, Partha Sarathi. So Krishna doesn't like being called, oh Supreme Personality of Godhead, like, oh Almighty One. Prabhupada said because, according to time, place and circumstances, Prabhupada gave that word to make Krishna, to make him, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, actually was given, this word was given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. People was taking God just cheaply, they were saying God is great, so he composed, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very heavy word, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was a scholar in English also, in everything he was scholar. So he, by seeing dictionary, everything, he composed this word, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada never said Almighty One or anything. So just to glorify Krishna, Prabhupada used to say Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise Prabhupada, we can hear in Prabhupada lecture, he used to say Krishna most of the time, Krishna or something. So only due to time, place and circumstances, Prabhupada said Supreme Personality of Godhead, just to glorify Sri Krishna, just to glorify him in front of public, just to show public that Krishna is not any ordinary thing, not only great, but he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is supreme, just to glorify Krishna. So throughout the day and night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu released Krishna's beauty, fragrance, mellow, if you are touching hand to hand. So after this Mahaprabhu, he went and the doorkeeper replied. And so Lord Chaitanya said to the doorman, you are my friend, please show me where Lord of my heart is. After Lord said this, they both went to the place known as Jagamohana, where everyone views Lord Jagannath. Just see, the doorkeeper said, here is the best of all personalities of Godhead. From here you may see the Lord to full satisfaction of your eyes. So doorkeeper was showing to Jagannath, please see Jagannath, who is personality of Godhead. from the Jagan Mohan. Jagan Mohan is just like a courtyard, just like a room from where we take darshan of Lord Jagannath. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed behind the huge column called the Garuda Stamba and looked upon Lord Jagannath. But as he looked, he saw that Lord Jagannath had become Lord Krishna with his flute to his mouth. In his book known as Gauranka Stava Kalpa Vriksha, Raghunath Das Goswami has described this incident very nicely. My dear friend, the doorkeeper, where is Krishna, the Lord of my heart? Kindly show him to me quickly. With these words, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu addressed the doorkeeper like a madman. The doorkeeper grasped his hand and replied very hastily, Come, seer beloved, may that Lord Sri Chaitanya rise within my heart and make me mad also. So Mahaprabhu, just like a madman, he was pulling the hand of the doorkeeper and saying, Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And the doorkeeper also in hurry, he took Mahaprabhu in front of Lord Jagannath and so, here is Krishna, here is Krishna. So it's very sweet pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Kaviraj Goswami has described. It feels like we can see those pastimes in front of our eyes. He has described so nicely. It's very nice, Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta. The offering of food known as Gopal Vallabha. Okay, I will read this first. The offering of food known as Gopal Vallabha Bhoga was then given to Lord Jagannath, and the arti was performed with the sound of conch and the ringing of bells. So I think I'll stop here today. We'll discuss tomorrow. We today read till text number 87. So we'll start tomorrow from text number 88. So if anyone have anything, then otherwise I'll stop. Is anything wrong? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for listening. Sri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai. Oh, who has got? Yeah. Sorry? I don't know. I think you should send letter to Maharaj asking when you are coming to Australia. Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta ki, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki, Hitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.